My name is Katie Yates, and this is Fishing Game Changers, a podcast brought to you by Maine's Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife. In this series, Fishing Game Changers on Tap, I'm exploring the many benefits of forested land in the Sebago Lake watershed. Last week, I spoke with regional wildlife biologist Scott Lindsay about how interconnected habitat in the watershed is a good thing for Maine's wildlife. The craft breweries located in Portland also benefit from the forested land in the watershed. If you missed it in previous episodes, the forest in the watershed acts as a natural filter, helping keep Sebago Lake's water pristine. That's good news for the customers of the Portland Water District. The forest's natural filtration means the Portland Water District doesn't need to install an expensive filtration system, and as a result, breweries in Portland can use the water right from the tap, keeping the quality of their product high and their costs low. Breweries are working with land trusts and the Portland Water District to conserve land in the watershed because it's good for Maine and good for their bottom line. The craft beer industry in Maine is booming, particularly in Portland. The water quality has a lot to do with it. As I learned in my conversation with Allagash Brewing's beer master, Jason Perkins, water quality and water scarcity are major issues for breweries in other states. So Maine is unique. Gary's Brewing is a piece of living history. Founded in 1983, it's New England's first craft brewery, and it holds federal craft brewing license number 13. In 2017, Robin and Alan LaPointe became the new owners of Gary's Brewing. Robin LaPointe, who I met up with last summer, is very passionate about Maine, and she's very passionate about community, preservation, and sustainability in Maine. According to her, breweries have an opportunity to benefit communities, embody preservation, and operate sustainably, as well as provide a great tasting 21+ beverage many folks love to enjoy responsibly. Robin gives me a quick behind-the-scenes tour where the brewing process has been done the same way for decades, preserving the traditional methods the original owner learned in England.
Grain comes in from our silos outside, gets dropped in, massive amounts of grain come in, mixed with water, brought up to hot temperatures. Once it finishes its mash, the liquid, the wort, goes to the kettles where it will come up to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And then all that spent grain is shoveled out by hand. So this is truly a handmade beer. And this is exactly how it was made 32 years ago.
Gary's is a cornerstone of craft brewing with an emphasis on craft. They handle every piece of the process with great care and with great care to eliminate waste. There's an entire section of their website dedicated to talking about this. On the tour, Robin points out that once the grain is used for the brewing process, it's donated to a local dairy farm to be used as feed and fertilizer instead of being sent off to a landfill. Much of their waste from the brewing process is composted and donated to Garbage to Garden, a local nonprofit that turns biodegradable waste into compost for gardens. For Robin, Gary's is a passion project, and her passion is evident.
For us, this is really a passion project, and we felt that the craft beer industry was booming, and to lose its very first craft brewery would be a true loss for the industry and maybe send a ripple that would be less than encouraging for the overall industry. And we feel so strongly about supporting the state of Maine, manufacturing and everything overall, that we decided that we really wanted to help preserve this company. When Alan and I started in the business, there were 96 breweries. Today, less than 2.5 years later, there's over 130. I mean, it's just grown so dramatically. So we really understood the operating pieces of brewing. We understood the manufacturing and the employment pieces. We understood the chemistry. Our operations manager who runs the brewery, he has his degree in chemical engineering. Brewing is chemistry.
The boom of breweries is great for tourism. Someone might come to Maine to sample some of the great products available in Portland before heading off to enjoy Maine's resplendent outdoor opportunities, spending money at hotels and at restaurants along the way.
I think we have some amazing craft brewers. I think that we have a real good foothold and a strong base of excellent brewers with excellent products. I think that as a different kind of brewer, I have some other thoughts on that. This is a beautiful state. A lot of people come here to enjoy the beautiful natural resources that we have. So I think people have been coming here and staying here for those reasons. But then we also have an amazing food and restaurant industry and tourism, hospitality. There's some really amazing places to see and stay here in the state. And I think we're all beginning to work better and better together to really, there's so many pieces that as a visitor, you can connect many of them. You can have an amazing meal, stay at a beautiful place or at a beautiful campground or a national park, and have amazing beer and amazing food, and have all of those things in one place. And again, I feel like there are a lot of organizations in the state and industries that work really well together. We understand in this state that tourism and the people who visit us are some of our best opportunities, right? So I think that's really impactful, and everyone's really starting to notice that. Alan and I work in an industry that is very different than where most people in the state work, right? In manufacturing. So we have a real understanding of the challenges that the state has fiscally in terms of employment, keeping people, having enough people to be fully employed, at a business having fully staffed itself. So we bring a lot of really interesting things to this business, a true understanding at a very high level of what the state needs, and we're trying to preserve those jobs. And this is a craft of we in the state, between our restaurateurs or brewers or the people that are sharing the natural resources of the state, you know, we have something really special to share. And so I think it's really coming together in terms of the state, of recognizing what's needed and how to collaborate together to maximize on it.
Robin recognizes that while Sebago's great quality water allows businesses like the breweries to continue to support Maine's economy in diverse ways, all of this is precariously balanced on conservation in the watershed.
Here we have an incredible resource in the Portland area where we draw from Lake Sebago to make our beers. We need to preserve this very unique natural resource that we have. There's only 50 in the country that does not have to manually filter their water. That would translate into a very, very expensive filtration plant that would cost a tremendous amount of money for all the users of the Portland Water District, that at this time nobody is, we don't have to pay for that. But if we had to start filtering Sebago water, it would be a tremendous cost for everybody that uses Portland Water District as their resource. We protect it by educating, right? Right now, the percentage of protected land versus used land is high enough that there is filtration happening naturally around and in Sebago Lake. We need to protect that so we don't have an increased cost and a change that would require a filtration plant. Mm-hmm. And then of course how we use it, efficiently, and managing our resource and everything else is important. And how we treat it as the people who live on Sebago Lake is also important. So I also realize and think, and everyone would agree, that, for instance, there's a tremendous amount of energy around craft beer today in a different audience. People who love the environment or clean water. But this whole group of followers of craft beer is a new audience, but there is a commonality in that many of the craft beer lovers also do love the environment, right? Mm-hmm. So drawing that connection, I was just at Loon Echo on Sunday, and we talked about the commonality of preservation. They're preserving forestation and the beautiful natural resources that we have, and we are working hard to preserve this brewery so that it is always here for the state and the cornerstone of the craft beer industry that is now a thriving draw for the state, for tourism and a lot of other people.
Loon Echo, Robin is referring to there, is Loon Echo Land Trust, located in the Sebago Lake watershed. I visited them in an earlier episode and chatted with their executive director, Matt Marcotte. My conversation with him quickly moved from conservation to recreation, and how he doesn't have as much time as he would like to spend in the outdoors. So what about Robin?
I'm always happiest outside, you know. It doesn't, hiking, just being, I could live outside, really. I always feel better. So I am a big enthusiast, but no, I've never hunted. I did catch an amazing salmon once.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's just something that's really in my heart, you know. So, and if I don't get outside on a trail, so I try to live very close to a place where I can really be outside, even if it's on my walk for the day. So I live
I'll wrap up this series with the Director of Quality Control at Foundation Brewing. Fortunately, we don't have to go far. It's right across the street from Geary's. If you'd like to learn more about this podcast series, visit mefishwildlife.com/changers. While you're on our website, click around. There's lots of information about how we manage fish and wildlife species in the state, facts about endangered species, how to avoid human-wildlife conflicts, and useful resources if you're trying to get out there and catch your own landlocked salmon. To stay up to date on current episodes, hit subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're enjoying this series, share it with a friend.